Don't thank me. It's the least I could do.
The least you could do.
Yeah. Save you a trip over to my office.
Who said I was going over there?
Ah, come on, Myers. Let's just hash this thing out right now so you won't have the embarrassment of having to go before Judge Sawyer.
I'll say this for you, Webster. At least you're consistent. Now, you don't make any more sense outside of a courtroom than you do inside one.
Yeah, speaking of consistent, your client, Charles Carpenter's a prime candidate for that one. Somebody ought to fill him in on some details.
Yeah, look, Webster, I'm real busy. Just tell me what you want, okay?
I already did. I want to do you a favor.
Oh, I don't need one. Not from you.
Charles didn't tell you, did he?
Tell me what?
Sir, would you please step outside the car? Sir, come outside the car, please. Come on.
You don't remember anything, Dr. Phillips? Anything at all?
Sergeant Brubaker, what's going on?
That's what we're here to find out from you.
For me? How did I get here?
Suppose you tell us.
But I don't know. Look, what is it? What's happened?
It's your ex-wife, Dr. Phillips. She's been shot.
Shot? No, it can't be.
Body's on the way to the morgue. Why don't you search the car, okay? I'm afraid we're going to have to search you too, Dr. Phillips. Go ahead.
Sergeant Brubaker, I don't understand this.
Well, neither do we. For instance, what is your car doing here in this parking lot?
I don't know.
He's clean, Sergeant.
Listen, why don't you go look around, see if you could find something?
I want to go see Kate.
Your daughter's already identified the body. Exactly how much did you have to drink last night?
I wasn't drinking.
Will you sleep here in the parking lot all night?
I can't remember. I just can't remember.
Hey, Sergeant Brubaker, come take a look over here. We may have found what we're looking for.
Uh-huh. Do you recognize it, Dr. Phillips?
No, why should I?
It's a 45.
Why don't you get the guys from the lab down here,
Right.
right? You sure you've never seen this before?
Of course I am.
We don't seem to be too sure of anything else.
Look, all I remember is leaving the clinic yesterday. After that, I don't remember anything.
Well, let's see if we can help you get your memory back, all right? You see, I have a hunch that the shell we found next to Mrs. Carruthers came from this gun. Now, let's go back to the beginning and start all over again, shall we?
What are you talking about, Webster?
Nah, it's a long story, and since you're so pressed for time, maybe some other time.
Well, that's... Stay.
All right, I'll stay if you insist.
Well, I insisted you get to the point.
I guess you just want the bottom line, huh? You know, you're real lucky that somebody hadn't turned you into the Bar Association.
Oh, now why would anybody do that?
Failure to hold up justice as an officer of the court. Withholding exculpatory evidence at the hearing.
Are you out of your mind?
No. Sometimes I think maybe you are, though, taking on a client like Charles Carpenter. You really should have checked with me before you did that, Dan.
You're still beating around the bush here, Webster.
You remember that excuse you gave Judge Sawyer when Charles was missing for a couple of days?
Yeah. He was out of town on business.
Uh-huh. Urgent business, I believe you said it was.
Yeah, this is all a matter of record, Webster.
So now is his second heart attack.
What do you mean?
I mean what I said. Charles had another heart attack.
Oh, really?
Really? That same 2 days when you were building up a case against Miriam and also building up his robust health.
You got any proof?
Oh, come on, Myers. What do you take me for? Would I be here if I didn't?
Well, now, you just might be.
Why don't you just talk to Charles? Apparently you haven't.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and fill me in on all the details? You seem to know everything.
I'll give you the highlights. That's probably all you can handle right now. Charles' cardiologist made a couple of house calls on him. A friend of mine saw him there. And then she also recognized him again later at the hospital. So I was able to track him down and identify him as Dr. Wynne Johnston, cardiologist. Now, Dr. Johnston admitted that he'd made the house calls, and he agreed to cooperate fully with me. Something that Charles has yet to do with you.
Well, an interesting turn of events.
Downright low blow, I'd call it. Oh, Charles hadn't been able to wiggle out of this one.
Oh, so you talked to him, too?
You bet I did. Come on and ask me.
Ask you what?
Did he point the finger at you? Did he suggest maybe you were the one whose idea it was for him to hide his illness?
Ah, you're being ridiculous, Webster.
Oh, no, I'm not. I happen to know how Charles Carpenter works. I was his lawyer for a while, too, if you will recall.
Yeah, I know the history. He's filled me in on your incompetence.
That's what he called it. Save his own skin. Kind of makes me wonder what he's going to say about you. Well, listen. You keep in touch. You don't really know all the details yet.
Hi.
Hi, lady.
I was just dreaming about you.
You wondering where I've been?
I was seeing you with the baby and Jimmy. Have you seen her?
Yeah, she's beautiful. Just like her mama.
We have a daughter. A healthy little girl.
Yeah. I can hardly believe it.
You weren't afraid, were you?
Well, I guess for a while I was. I was afraid for you.
Oh, well, you didn't have to be.
Carla, you know, you mean so much to me.
Well, you really were shaken up by this.
I don't know. I don't know what I am right now. I'm grateful, relieved, happy. I am very happy that you've made me a father again.
Oh, good. Just don't go getting any ideas about you wanting a dozen.
Oh, no. No, not if... Waiting for them is gonna cause as much trouble as this little rascal did.
Oh, well, I'm fine. The baby's fine. And our prayers have been answered, Gene.
Our prayers? Well, you know I leave all that praying to you. You've been around the Redlands long enough to inherit some of that strength. Actually, to tell you the truth, I really didn't sweat it that much, lady.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, come on. You know
here.
I love you.
Give me some sugar, baby.
Sergeant Brubaker, that gun is not mine.
You don't have to own a gun to fire it.
I didn't fire it. Why would I kill Kate? I love her. We even plan to get married again.
But you married Lee Carruthers instead.
Yes, but let me explain.
That's what I've been trying to get you to do. Did you come here to see your daughter or Mrs.
How many
Carruthers?
times do I have to tell you? I can't remember.
Well, that's why I'm trying to help you remember, Dr. Phillips, for your own good.
Look, if I knew, I'd tell you.
You've already told me more than you think. You had an argument. It got out of hand. You grabbed the gun.
No,
You
no,
just
no,
couldn't
no,
help
look,
yourself.
Would I kill Kate and then come out here on her doorstep all night?
Passed out's more like it.
Look, you searched the car. You didn't find anything. I haven't had a drink in over 2 years. Look, Kate's murder is getting away while you're wasting your time with
I
me.
don't think so. You don't seem to have a very good alibi, do you?
But somebody must have seen me. Must have seen how long I was out here in this lot.
Sure. They probably saw you enter the building. Or maybe they saw you drop the gun.
Look, can't we go inside and talk?
I got a better idea. Let's go down to the station.
The station?
That's right. Consider yourself under arrest, Dr. Phillips. Sam, Huffman reading his rights.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and to have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any question.
No, look, we can't just go on calling her baby for the rest of her life.
And we can't decide what to name her either.
Well, I thought we already decided that, sweetie.
No, you did.
And what's wrong with Jean with a J, like I said?
You want a list?
All right, okay, Jeannie. How's that?
No.
So what are you holding out for?
For something special. For something unique. A name she'll like.
Something like Carla II?
No, that's too long. I mean, we could change it to Carla. Oh, okay, all right. Let's do it this way. What about this?
What, you mean we're gonna have it your way again?
No. I want to be fair about it this time.
I'd like to have that in writing, too.
Oh, come on. I mean, we can ask Mama for a couple of suggestions. You know, she's been working on some names of her own.
But Carla, now, look, what is gonna happen if we disagree with what Mom says?
Then we'll come up with something ourselves.
Oh, that's...
Oh,
What are you doing awake, Carla? You're supposed to be resting.
Well, she was until I woke her.
I've rested enough already.
You just let me be the judge of that?
When can I go home?
Well, not today, that's for certain.
Tomorrow?
Would you not rush it?
You took the words right out of my mouth, Jean.
But I feel great.
Yeah, as long as you're in this bed, you just wait till you get on your feet.
Don't worry, I'll make sure that she stays off of them.
Oh, hey, you two. I mean, this is my second time around. I got a daughter to raise.
Not by herself.
And not until I check you out completely. Remember, you came in here with a mild concussion. You had any more of those headaches?
No.
Any blurred vision?
Nope. Just my usual 20/20.
I'm still gonna run some tests.
Well, I guess that means my visiting hours are over, huh?
If you don't mind.
Oh, no, I don't mind. I'll just go back out there and take a look at that lovely little daughter of mine again.
You'll probably spend the rest of the day at that window.
Actually, Jean, I thought you'd be grinding out that murder story now.
What murder story?
You haven't heard?
No.
I heard some paramedics talking down in ER. They went out on a call. The patient was already dead of a gunshot wound. It was Kate Phillips, Kate Carruthers.
Kate Carruthers?
That's what they said.
Let me get out of here. I gotta get out. Carla, I'll call you later, baby.
In here, Dr. Phillips.
The last time. Son, can't you see you're making a mistake?
I need some information from my report. Sit down.
I've already told you all I know.
Well, maybe you've recovered from your amnesia a little bit. Full name.
Come on, you know my name.
Humor me. Full name.
David Phillips.
All right. Current address.
Clinic.
You live at the clinic?
No. Somebody at the clinic can tell you why I went to Amber's. Either Lucille or Ione will probably know. I remember talking to them before I left work.
I still like to know where you live.
Let me drive down there and talk to them.
Aren't you forgetting something? You're under arrest.
Oh, come on, John. Let me straighten this out.
All right, you're entitled to one phone call. I suggest that you use it to call a lawyer.
I don't need a lawyer. Just a chance to piece everything together. You don't honestly believe that I killed Kate, do you? I couldn't.
Dr. Phillips, let me remind you of your rights. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, and that includes what you're telling me.
I'm telling you the truth. I didn't kill her.
How do you know? If you're not lying about your blackout,
I'm not.
then you don't know what happened during those 15 hours you can't account for.
Well, look, I had to talk to somebody. I remember leaving the clinic to meet somebody, to talk to them.
My guess is Kate Carruthers, but we can't ask her, can we?
What about my daughters, Amber and Stacy? Did Amber mention anything about my meeting her?
Just
Or
what she wanted to do to you. We had to restrain her.
Well, she can't believe I'd hurt Kate.
Once this thing hits the evening news, She's not going to be the only one. I think maybe you should try and make that phone call now.
I can't dial with these things on.
All right, come on.
Thanks.
I got the names of some lawyers if you need one.
I don't need a lawyer. I just hope Stacy's at home. Look, there's no answer. Can I try one other call?
Go ahead.
Come on, be there. Hello, Terry? It's Dave.
I want you to drop all your assignments right now and get on this immediately. I want you to get down to the morgue, and I want you not to come back without a coroner's report, an autopsy. I want you to get down to the police station and keep your ears open. I want you to go over to the building complex, and I want you to take a picture of the whole thing, inside and out, as well as the parking lot. What are you waiting for? Get out of here. Let's get back to work. Come on.
Walter, you won't believe what has happened.
What, that I sent out 3 reporters on a story you could cover by yourself?
Walter, Kate Phillips has been murdered.
Yeah, and I want your story on it in this afternoon's edition.
Well, I should have guessed you would have known.
No, why her ex-husband shot her last night? No, I don't know, but I want you to find out.
Dave Phillips? That's impossible.
He's been arrested. Get on it, Gene.
Well, I'm on my way to the station now.
No, hold off. Fry's on the way down there. I want you to get a hold of Carruthers. He probably want to make a statement to us, if he's not too broken up about it.
Well, we'll check and see about that, then. Yeah, this is Gene Rutland with the Kingsley Chronicle. I know Lee Carruthers doesn't have time to... What? When? He left for Perryville. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know it. No messages or anything. Thanks a lot. Okay. Well, what do you know?
He hasn't heard yet.
Well, no, and by the way that his secretary was talking, she doesn't know either.
Well, we're on top of it then.
What is this thing about Dave Phillips again?
They found him this morning, blanked out, in his car, in the parking lot, with a possible murder weapon a few feet away.
I can't believe that.
Yes, well, there's plenty of time to dig into that. Is Sebastian Knight out of town, too?
Yes, he is.
Well, see if you can get a statement from Wainwright. See if he thinks this is going to affect the campaign or not.
Walter, I would like to start with Dave Phillips first. We might be able to get some other leads. You know, I'm sure there's some other suspects involved with this thing.
Look, we got to keep our lead in this thing. If we don't keep our lead, we're going to be lost entirely.
I know that, but don't you
All right. I know I'm late. I overslept. Something wrong?
Terry, you came.
I told you I would. Dave, what is going on?
I couldn't explain everything over the phone.
You said that Kate's dead.
Yes, somebody shot her.
Who?
I don't know, but I'm being accused of it.
But how can they blame you?
It looks bad, Terry.
But isn't there some way to convince them that they're wrong?
Terry, I'm having trouble convincing myself.
What do you mean?
I can't remember anything about last night. I may have gone to Kate's for all I know. I don't know. Maybe I did get drunk like they said.
Dave, no, you wouldn't. I mean, did you have a drink?
No, I don't think so, but how else can you explain my loss of memory?
Well, an emotional crisis could have caused it. You've been under such a strain.
If only I could remember.
Don't worry about it. You will remember in time.
But I don't have that time. You know how long it's been since I've been here? 2 years. 2 years ago I was here in this drunk tank. And now I'm back again.
That's not true.
Why do things always happen to me like this? Ever since I tried to clean up my life.
Dave, don't be this hard on yourself. There are plenty of people who care about you.
My family doesn't care. Amber already thinks I killed Kate. And Stacy? I don't even know where she is.
I'll find Stacy for you. Don't worry about it.
Don't waste your time. She probably thinks I did it too.
Will you listen to yourself? Stop it. You are not alone. If that were true, I wouldn't be here.
I'm sorry. It's just that, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
They wouldn't even let me look at her. It just took her away and wouldn't...
Dave, try not to think about it. I know it isn't easy.
I didn't want to give her up. When she said she was marrying Lee, Lee.
What is it?
That's it. Somebody told me something about Lee that made me want to go see Kate.
Well, do you know what it was or who told you?
Well, I can't remember. If only I could, but if he had anything to do with her death.
You can't be sure, Dave.
I'm sure he didn't love her. He doesn't know the meaning of the word.
All the same, don't make any more accusations. It's your memory you have to work on. Sergeant Brubaker.
Mrs. Davidson,
How could you arrest a man like Dave Phillips?
It's my job.
To put the innocent in jail? Dave didn't kill Kate.
That's not the way the evidence lines up.
But you know him. You know the kind of man he is. If you wanted him to be available for questioning, he would be. He'd answer all your questions.
Mrs. Davidson, that's just the problem. He cannot answer any of my questions. Now, all the evidence points to his involvement in this thing. Now, will you please let me do what I'm professionally trained to do?
I'm sorry.
Look, he is entitled to a phone call. I suggested that he call a lawyer. He chose to call you. Now, if you're his friend and you want to do something for him, get him a lawyer. He's going to need one.
Look, I apologized for being late. I'll make it up, Mr. McGovern. This afternoon, if you like.
Stacy, could you come in and sit down?
Yeah, Stacy, come on, sit down. Sit down, here.
Look, Stacy, I don't know quite how to tell you this, but I'm afraid we've got some bad news.